We are starting with business finance, and this is a question given to your predecessors, those who completed last year. It's a 2018-2019 batch. This is the question they wrote. So assuming you were in that batch, this is the question you might have been written or you might have been writing. So take it very seriously. As if you are the one who is going to write this paper. How well are you going to be faring? How well are you going to be faring? And we are having 4 questions in all, and they are supposed to answer all. They are having 4 questions in all, and they were supposed to answer all. Each question carries 15 marks. So each question carries equal marks. You know, examination marks is 60 marks, mid-semester is 20 marks, and assessment is 20 marks. So if your mid-semester is weak, the assessment too is weak, then it means that your examination must be strong to put you at a better place. So this is their question 1. And question 1 states that they should explain what is risk. What is risk? Who can tell me what is risk? What a risk is? I've taught you. Yes. What is a risk? Eunice. Eunice.
Seima.
I'm listening to you.
Risk.
Yeah, what is a risk? Please, we are in a live section, so everybody should be active.
Is the probability
and
consequence of not achieving a particular project or a goal.
Okay, who else? Delphina. Nick. Nicholas.
Naima.
Yes, what is a risk?
Risk is the chance that the actual return of an investment will differ from the expected return.
Fantastic. CID, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good. What is a risk?
The risk is the probability of something bad happening.
The probability of something bad happening. Mavis, what is a risk?
Hello.
Yeah, we are listening to you. You are live.
A risk is the chance that your actual return is lesser than the expected return.
It's lesser than the expected return. Okay. So you can see that one thing I've asked everybody, I've gotten different answer. And you are all not right. You are all not wrong. But all the answers are okay with the exception of CID. CID, your own, the chance that of something bad happening does not explain it in terms of investment, okay? So
okay, sir.
When you say that, though it is right to explain it to a layman, but when we come to the context of what we are talking about, it will not fetch you more marks. Are you getting the scenario? So
Yes, sir.
sometimes there are some words when they ask you the definition, you explain it in the context within which it is. Are you getting the scenario? So
yes, sir. Yes,
if
sir.
you tell me that risk is the probability that your expected return is going to be different from your actual return, or your expected return is going to be lesser than the actual return, I'll give it to you. If you tell me that the risk is the probability or the consequences of you not achieving your investment goal, I will give it to you. If you tell me that risk is the probability or the chances that the expected return is going to be lesser than the actual return, I'll give it to you. If someone also tell me that risk is the probability or the likelihood of not achieving an investment goal or a project goal or a corporate goal, I'll give it to that person. Are you getting the scenario? So the probability that you are not going to achieve your expected result or your expected return is the risk. The probability of you not achieving your expected return or your expected result is the risk. Is that clear for everybody? Delphina, kindly unmute your sound so that we can hear you. Today is a live section. Good. So if you've been asked to explain what a risk is, I've started answering it here. So risk is the probability and consequence of not achieving a specific project, corporate, or investment goal. So now we are going to be answering the questions like the way you are supposed to answer it in an examination. What we've been doing so far is a classroom work or a classroom explanation for you to be able to understand whatever we mean. But when it comes to presentation, you must present it in a logical manner. You must present it in a way that will fetch you a needed mark. I hope I'm making myself clear over here. All right. Now, if you have any question, kindly ask, okay? Because today we are going to move very, very slow. We are not moving that fast like the way we used to do. Any question? Now, let's go to the question 2. The question 2. Now, let me ask you a question. We have 3 conditions of risk. Can anyone mention one?
Yeah, because I've already passed them. Those stuff.
3 conditions of risk.
I mean, one day, no, the one of the girls was 3,000. So maybe I'll make ready business.
We have 3 conditions of risk.
This week now, I'll be there. We go end month. This week, now.
Who can mention one? Mavis.
I think again we go pay. I did in my best. So look, we talk in the evening.
Nicholas, you are disturbing the background. Maybe Delphina, we have 3 conditions of risk. You are also supposed to mention one. I know I have not taught you, but I wanted to know if you guys are really learning or you are reading your books. Eunice, can you mention one?
No.
People have not been reading the books, eh? We have, okay, so let me put you here. Although it's not here, so I'm putting it there. So conditions of risk We have the known. We have the known unknown. And then we have the unknown. We have the unknown unknowns. Mavis, the background is disturbing us. So these are the conditions of risk. We have the known condition, we have the known unknown, and then we have the unknown unknowns. Now, let me explain them. If we talk about the known condition, this is a condition where we know the event, but we don't know when it will happen. So when we talk about the yes, yes.
Please, I just want to know the page. I just came in.
Oh, they are solving questions. I placed a question on the page. Those are the questions we are solving.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
My phone stuff is disturbing me. Oh, God.
Yeah, Eunice.
The background, it seems someone like I don't know, it's making noise. So
I don't know who has on a fan and it is making noise here. Because today I want us to have a live discussion. That's why I'm not muting anybody. So if one will be disturbing, I'll just mute you. And you will not be, if you ask questions, you will not even unmute you. Please. So kindly check your background. So let's go on. So as I was saying, we have known conditions, known unknown, then we have the unknown unknowns. These are the conditions of risk. So the known condition, we know the event, but we don't know when it will happen. We know the event, but we don't know when the event will happen. Sorry, we know the event and then we know, yes, when it will happen. But this one, the known unknown, copy. We know the event, but we don't know when it will happen. This is the known unknowns. So the first one, you know the event, you know when it will happen. The second one, we know the event, but we don't know when it will happen. So it's like somebody is pregnant. We know you are pregnant. I get me. Or we know you'll be delivering in the 9th month. But we don't know the exact day the person will deliver. That is the second one, known unknown. So we know you are pregnant. We know you will deliver in the 9th month. But we don't know the day you will deliver. But the one that we know you are pregnant, we know you will deliver in the 9th month. We know you will deliver on the 15th. That is the first one. That is the known condition. Then the last condition, that is the unknown knowns. This one, we are in a state of uncertainty. So where you are in a state of uncertainty. In fact, you are in a state of uncertainty. So this one, you know the event, but you don't know the consequences. So this is the third one, or this is the last one, the conditions of risk. So when you have been asked the conditions of risk, these are the three conditions you give out. Some people mistakenly missed out the conditions with the basic component of risk. Don't do that. Make sure you know which ones are the conditions, you know which ones are the basic components of risk. So the B question was asking them that, what are the three basic components of risk? And the three basic components of risk we have are the one, an event, a probability of occurrence of that event, and then the impact of that event. So the basic component of risk, we have the event, we have the probability of occurrence or the likelihood of the event occurring, and then the impact. If the event has occurred, what is the impact? That is what we mean. That is what we mean. If you have any questions, you ask, and I will answer you. Now, the third question was asking them to explain the differences between business risk and market risk. They are supposed to explain the differences between business risk and then market risk. Now, when we say business risk, what do we mean? Who can explain it? I taught you. Business risk. What is a business risk? Another name for business risk is, my people, you are not learning. Mercy. Mercy. Another name for business risk.
I didn't even hear anything. I was someone called me.
Mavis.
You asked me, let me see if I can answer.
Another name for business risk.
Pardon?
Another name for business risk.
Hey, Hey, who is laughing?
Another name for business risk. Delphina.
Saima.
Another name for business risk. You guys, when you are not learning and you come back from the break, they'll put pressure on you people. Another name for business risk is called diversifiable risk.
Yes.
It can also be called firm-specific risk. So I taught you these things at the beginning, the day we were explaining risks. So he said it can be called diversifiable risk or firm-specific risk. So now that Mercy have said, Mercy, now what is a business risk?
Saima, it is the investment where the investor can influence its occurrence. Number.
Okay. So the type of risks that the investor can influence the occurrence of the risks. Okay.
Yes.
Who else? Eunice, let's hear you. Yes, Mercy, we're about listening to you when the line went off.
Oh, Saima, I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Eunice. I said it is a type of investment where the investor have control of its
Okay. Yeah.
occurrence.
Okay, where the investor can influence the occurrence of the risk. Okay. Okay. Eunice, can we hear you?
The occurrence of the risk, yes.
Saima.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, let's go on. Can you also explain what a business risk is or what a diversifiable risk is?
Is the uncertainty with an investment. Saima, that's all I can remember.
Uncertainty with an investment is basically a risk. So this is an example of a business risk, a typical explanation of a business risk. It's a type of risk that the organization or the firm may not generate enough revenue to pay dividend. This is a basic explanation of a typical business risk. Are you getting it? This is a typical explanation of a typical business risk. Or one can also say that is the type of risk that the investor can or have the chance of influencing or minimizing the chances of its occurrence.
Ah.
So I've given you two different definitions of a business risk. It's a type of risk that the organization or the firm may not generate enough revenue to pay dividends. Or is a type of risk that the investor have the chance of influencing or minimizing the chances of its occurrence. So this is a typical explanation of a business risk, which can also be called firm-specific risk. It can also be called diversifiable risk.
Oh.
Any question?
Oh, mobile inside.
Any question? Now, I'm going to give two examples. Then you tell me which one is a business risk. Okay, let's finish the market risk. Then I'll bring those two the examples. Then you tell me which one is a business risk, which one is a market risk. Now, when we talk about market risk, what do we mean? Who can also tell me?
Sayma,
Yes.
market risk does not have any control over the risk.
Hey, this one is smart move. Okay, who else? Maybe, are you there?
I can also say, sir, it's a type of risk which the firm have, like, will be able to generate more revenue to pay dividends.
Hey, this one 00.
Oh, and I said, let me say what I know. I was trying to read from what you said, and then let me what I know. It is a type of investment where the investor does not have control by its occurrence. That's what I know.
You see, sometimes you don't use psychology to call certain definitions. So when you do that, you are going to get it wrong. I get it. So if you say a market risk is the type of risk that the investor cannot influence or have the chances of not influencing or minimizing their occurrence, at least it's okay. I get it. So I'm going to give you the definition of a market risk. I get it. Market risk is the type of risk of decline in investment returns because of market factors, independent from the given investment. So they are the type of risks that affects your investment on the market. I get it. And these risks, they are independent. But the business risks, they are dependent on the investment. I get it as in nine. So I'm typing it for you so that you see what I'm saying. So it's the type of risks of decline in investment returns because market factors independent of the given investment. So when we say market risk, this is what we mean. Or somebody can say that.
It will also be the same as the non-diversified risk.
Yes. So I'll give you the other names of market risks.
From the explanation.
So market risk can also be called non-diversifiable risk. Can also be called what? Non-diversifiable risk. So, or is a type of risk that the investor have no chance of influencing or minimizing the chance. You see that this one, this explanation and this explanation, they are of the same wording, but what changes this one from this one is that this one I've placed no there. So whenever you are writing definitions, please and please again, take notes of certain words you bring in or certain foreign words you bring in. Sometimes you put in some words that you think they are spicing whatever you are explaining. But before you realize, you are changing the whole meaning of whatever you are saying. I get you the scenario. So if with the first definition you bring in no here, then it means that you are rather explaining this for that. If the second one you didn't bring the no, then it means that you are rather explaining this for that. So sometimes when you are explaining similar explanation or giving similar definitions, take note of the words that makes them different, and that will help you give a correct definition. Is that right?
Tamer,
Yes.
please, the definition for the market risk. There is because of market factors, independent of the given investment.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what kind of market factors can influence this?
So, okay. So, example. Why is this thing full? So, example of market factors. We have interest rates. We have inflation. We have political, let me say political decision, or let me just say political. Let me say political factors. It can be decisions, it can be political uncertainty and all those stuff. We have general economic situations or general economic factors. Okay, you let me just put it other economic factors, because the interest rates and then the inflation are all part of general economic factors. So other economic factors. So these are some of the market factors that affect investments. Mercy, are you okay now?
Yes, please.
Good. So, in fact, you have asked a very nice question or a very good question. So, a student who just explained it without bringing an example may score 3/5. A student who explains it and brought these examples may score 5/5. I get it, the scenario. So the difference between those who get the A and those who get the A plus is because of additions they do. And sometimes when you are making the additions, you must be sure of the additions you are doing, because sometimes you have explained it, but the additions you have added to it has rather make it a bump. I get you the scenario.
Yes.
So that is it. Now, the next question. Now I have two scenarios for you. And then you tell me which one is a market risk. And then you tell me which one is a firm specific risk. Now, my first question, if workers have gone on strike, is it a market risk or is a firm specific risk?
So I think it's a firm specific risk.
It's a firm specific risk.
Yes.
Good. If, I think it's here. Good. So if we have free SHS policy, this one, is it a market risk or a firm specific risk? Yes, quick. Anybody can answer.
In my market risk.
Free SHS policy, market risk, good.
Yes.
Workers' union strike. Is it a firm specific risk or a market risk?
Workers, hey, so my workers was.
Are you not seeing it on my screen?
Okay, workers union strike. Yeah.
A firm
My
specific.
firm specific.
Firm specific, good.
Yes.
Nationwide power outage, doomso.
Say my market.
Poor corporate IT infrastructure.
Firm.
Market.
Firm markets.
Say my firm.
Market.
It's a firm specific. Okay, Eunice.
Yes, it's firm. Yes,
It's a firm specific. TUC strike.
Firm.
Is it firm or market?
No, market.
It's a market.
Trade union. Yes.
Trade union.
The nation. Yes, it's a market.
I get it. Trade union. So this one, when the trade union, TUC people said they go on strike, don't you see government shaking?
Yes.
I get it. But if MTN workers say they are going on strike, will government be shaking?
No.
They will not shake. I get it. So there's a difference between a worker union strike and then trade union congress strike. I get it. So the first one is the firm specific. This one is the market. New VAT legislation. Is it a firm specific or a market?
Yes, it's market.
A market. Good. So these are the other. We have UTAC strike. Who can tell me the full meaning of UTAC?
UTAC, university. Say my university teachers. Hey, that's you.
Hey, I people in Ghana.
Say my refi. UTAC. Hey.
Say me, Kasa mi refi.
Okay, say my refi.
Nicholas, what's the full meaning of UTAC?
Oh, we be who by me the refi.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Are you there? What is the full meaning of
People are quite
UTAG?
calm.
Naima,
What is the full meaning of UTAG?
University Teachers Association of Ghana.
Fantastic. You deserve an applaud. So,
Hey, Grandma.
Yeah.
so UTAG strike, is it a market risk or a firm specific?
Market.
The market. Changes in interest rate. I know this one, you all know it's a market.
Say, my
Students,
noise, we can't hear you.
changes in interest
Hello.
rates. Hello, can you hear now?
Market. Yes,
Okay.
it's market.
Student strike, is it firm specific or market?
Firm.
Firm. Good.
Yeah.
Coup d'etat.
Grandma said,
Coup d'etat, is it market or firm?
they might depend, so. Because it can be nationwide, it can be firms. In the end, they say, my own.
A firm coup d'etat.
The man who said, we move here, now, yes, she's a cool baby. I don't mean to. So it will be a market. This is to be a my say, I won't be
You know what a coup d'etat is?
Employees. My better.
When they say coup d'etat, it means overthrowing the government too.
Yes. They must see your two money.
Oh, the one they be doing in firm, that one is no coup. That one is just the illegal use of coup. That one is a coup d'etat. We mean you are overthrowing the the constitution. I get it.
Yes.
So once you have overthrown the constitution, and then you just take out the government. So what Rollins did some, and at some point what they were doing before you were born. Inflation, is it markets or firm specific? Market. Earth tremor. Who can tell me an example of earth tremor?
Earthquake.
Earthquake. There are earthquake. Earth tremor.
The medicine there is market too.
It's market. I get it. So don't be surprised when your lecturer has gotten to this side on his portal. Has he even been teaching you on the portal at all?
Why, or this say my assignment to say my assignment 27 deadline.
So I am with the assignment now my yawa.
You suggestion.
So on the assignment now name
assignment deadline 27 May.
So these are some of the factors that we can consider either market or firm specific. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's move on to their next question. The next question, which I gave to you in a quiz. That quiz, I'm marking it and I'm seeing a lot of revelations. Now, a stock has a required return of 14.25. The beta of the stock is 1.25. And the risk-free rate is 6.0. What is the market risk premium? What is the market risk premium? Now, what is the formula for market risk premium? I taught you. Yes. Eunice. What is the formula for market risk premium?
Market premium is equals to RM. Hey, RM minus.
I'm listening.
Okay. Market risk premium.
I bet you. Delphina, what's the formula for market risk premium?
Market risk premium, beta multiplied by your market risk minus your free rate of return.
And what is the formula for risk premium?
What you said is the risk premium.
So what I said is the risk premium.
Yes, that's the
People are using psychology.
Yes, this one there.
This one there, people are using psychology. Pa. So market risk premium is equal to
RM minus RF.
Yo. Media, my friend, you. One amaka. So now, look at the question. You were given the required return of 14.25. Are you getting it?
Yes.
The required return of 14.25. And you were given the risk-free rate of return to be 6.0. You were given the beta to be 1.25. But you are not given the market risk. So I denote my market risk with a letter X, or I can say Y, minus my risk-free rate of 6. Do you understand?
No, Sema, no, I'm not.
A typical examination question. You get gates. We know RI, which is the required return, is equal to RF. That's why, you see, look at the question. I told you that the question, they will give you the question plus the formula sheets. Have you seen the formula sheet attached?
Yes.
Have you seen the formula sheet? Good. And have you seen this formula? The formula we are using, have you seen it over here?
Yes.
Have you seen it? All the formulas are there for you. How to identify the formulas is another question. Whether the formula you are using is the right one is another question. And whether you'll be able to identify the variables given in the question and fix them in the formula is another question. I get you the scenario. So don't hear that they are going to be giving you formula sheets, so you are jumping. Those who went and write the business finance one, you would have seen the experience from there. Are you getting it? So me, I don't use formula sheets. I learn it on my own, then I'm okay. So let's go on. So we're giving required return in the question to be 14.25. Risk-free rate to be 6. And then beta to be 1.25. But we were not giving the RM, which is the market risk. I getting this, sorry, the market return. We are not giving the market return. So there is no way we can find the market risk premium. Bear in mind, it is this one that we are looking for. And we need the RM and the RF. So once we were not giving the RM and the RF, we will do change of subjects. I get you the scenario. So you say 14.25 should be equal to your 6 plus 1.25y minus 1.25 multiplied by 6.
Hey.
Sharp, your calculators.
7.5.
7.5.
So 1.25 multiplied by 6 is 7.5, right? Good. So you get this one. Then from here, what do you do? What do you do?
You
are
bring
forgetting your
them.
mass.
You bring
Then
down.
you group like terms.
You group like terms. Now you have expanded the brackets. So you group like terms. 6 minus 7.5 should be plus 1.25 y. So 6 minus 7.5 will be equal to what?
$1.5.
It's going to be minus 1.5.
Negative.
It's not 1.5.
Yeah. It's negative.
Like this. Are you okay? Then I say 14.25 plus 1.5 equal to 1.25 y. This is how I said I want you to be doing it in an examination. Are you getting the scenario? You do it step by step. And so therefore your next answer is going to be 14.25 plus 1.5. Fast.
15.75.
15.75 should be equal to 1.25 y. What will be the next thing that you do?
So you divide both by 1.25.
So 15.75 divided by 1.25 equal to 1.25 y divided by 1.25. And so therefore, y is going to be equal to what? Because this and this were already cancelled.
$12.6.
So I'm getting y to be 12.6. So therefore, I can say that if y is equal to 12.6, then Rm should be equal to Rm, which I know is equal to my my market risk premium, which I know to be equal to my Rm minus my Rf. Now I know my Rf, and so therefore the 12.6 minus Rf is how much? Rf given the question is what? The thing is right in front of you.
6.0. So my 6.0.
So it's 6.
Yes,
So therefore,
it's
market risk premium is equal to how much?
so my in percentage.
Don't worry. Is how much?
6.6.
So 6.6%. I get it. So if you want to test, or you want to prove, whether what you did is correct, and I know my RI is equal to RF plus D, then I'll say, okay, this should be equal to RI should be equal to my 6 plus 1.25 multiplied by 12.6. 12.6 minus 6. You should be able to get the 14.25. if you want to prove it and see that whether what you have done is correct. I get you the scenario. Then this is how you do that. But this one is not needed. This one is not needed. But I just wanted you to check it and see if really what you did is correct. But this is what the question wants you to do. All the highlighted ones is what the question wants you.
Sema, please, the Y is not 1.26. It is 12.6. You done it 1.26.
I've done it what?
Then it's 1.26.
Okay, it's 12.6.
It's
Sorry.
rather 12.6.
Okay, good. So, if you have successfully answered all these questions, from here to here, 15 marks, you are done. No, I think there is E. Yeah, there is E before.
No, Sema, that one is 5 marks.
Yeah, there is E. There is E. We are going to do the E. Sorry. Can we go on? Any question? If you don't have any question, then we move on to the E question. Accord Ghana Limited. So this is the question I'm reading. Accord Ghana Limited wants to build a 3-stock portfolio. This one. They want to build a 3-stock portfolio with the securities given below. It wants to know the expected return and the market risk of the prospective portfolio. As a consultant, you have been contacted to help determine the expected return and beta for the 3-stock portfolio. Given below are the informations about the individual investments and the portfolio building. So this is what they wanted you to do. What will you do now? Or how are you going to solve for this particular illustration? How do we get portfolio expected return? Yes, what is the weight of the investment here? Mercy, how do we get the weight?
I think I'm not looking at it. Oh. So my friend, make sure me read the question and I'm a henny one voucher.
Manuela. Ella, can you hear me? Now, how do we get the weight of the investment? Eunice, Mavis, Delphina. How do we get the weight of the investment?
Sema.
Yes.
We can use the individual weight that they invested. So like the A will be like 60,000 over 150,000. Then we get
That's
the
it. Simple. Are you getting the scenario? So first of all, the very first thing you have to do is to find the weight of the investment. So Eunice has given you the lead to solve this question. Are you getting it? So we first of all determine the weight of the investment. Now, the weight of the investment, we know the total investment value is equal to the 60,000 plus 37,500 plus the 52,500, which will give us 150,000.